how to create double stop harmonies in a major key. It's something that can really sweeten up your solos. Let's break that down. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, getting started learning how to create double stop harmonies up and down the fretboard. Now today we're going to be working in the key of E. I'm going to show you how you can play the major scale harmonized, which is going to give you a very sweet poppy sound, and then we're going to make a slight adjustment to the scale and create some very cool bluesy harmonies. Okay, so getting started, we're going to play a kind of awkward position of the E major scale. Okay, so that was D string, frets 2 and 4, the G string 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, giving us the notes E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Now that's not a very good soloing position, but it is very good for setting up these harmonies that we call double stops. Alright, to do it, we're going to play each note in that scale in thirds. Meaning, we're going to play a note, and then pair it with whatever note is 3 above it. Alright, we can repeat that process for each interval in the scale. And right there we have the E major scale harmonized. The D string and G string, frets 2 and 1, 4 and 2. The G and B, 1 and 0, 2 and 2, 4 and 4, 6 and 5, 8 and 7, and 9 and 9. Alright, that's 1 octave played in thirds. Alright, give that a shot one more time. Alright, and that drops you off right in the G position of the E major pentatonic scale, or the main G-shaped position of the E major scale. And of course, you can go a little bit higher, going up into a second octave. So there's 1 octave, a second octave. Alright, it's all the same, but then we start running out of space, so perhaps we start playing here on the B string and the high E string. So octave number 2, 9 and 9, 11 and 10, up a full step, 14, 14, 16, 16, switching strings, 14, 12, up a full step, and finally, frets 17 and 16 for another octave. Put all that together and we have that's 1 octave. Alright, and just like that, you can now navigate up and down the fretboard when playing in the key of E and create some very cool double stop poppy guitar sounds. Okay, now let's say you're not playing over top of some typical poppy major chords, but instead you're jamming over top of a bluesy tune with dominant 7s. Now, in those types of tunes, the 7th note of the scale, D sharp, is being flatted back a half step to D. And if you try to play the same major harmonies up and down the fretboard over top of this chord, every single time you hit a D sharp note, it's gonna clash. So that means we need to adjust our scale by flattening the 7th note down a half step, thereby turning it into a Mixolydian scale, an E Mixolydian scale. Okay, so here's the new scale. Okay, now taking all the D sharp notes in our harmonies and flatten them back 1/2 step. Alright, it's going to be verbatim up until there. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, But here in the 5th interval, we need to change it up. We're not going to play 4 and 4. Instead, 4 and 3, which is going to sound great over that E7 chord. All right, you can hear all the different possibilities you have here, right? All right, so far you have. You can take that up a full step. And then now we're going to take harmony number 7 and change that up as well because we have a D sharp. So turn that into a D. Now we have frets 7 and 7. So. Alright, from there we're just going to take that up a full step. Alright, to end the octave. Alright, let's give that a shot. Some bluesy harmonies being drawn from the Mixolydian scale. So. Alright, now of course we can go a little bit higher. Playing frets 11 and 10 and bringing those up a full step, which is very useful because it's going to overlap with the main position of the minor blues scale and also the major pentatonic scale, which can be blended together when you're jamming over top of major keys. Okay, so let's see if you can go from the open position all the way up to the main position of the minor blues scale. So with the harmonies. And just like that, we have this great roadmap across the fretboard taking us from 2 very common positions and 1 octave to the next.